what's up you guys? Century Productions, and we're shooting some Black Series figures. Now Black Series on and off has had a rocky history with figures, but every now and again they come out with something that's really cool, and this Boba Fett is no exception to that. I've always loved Star Wars. It's probably what got me into toy collecting and all this stuff, so I've had a lot of stuff on the back burner that I've been wanting to shoot recently, and I figured, well, let's start off with Boba Fett here. Now, Boba Fett's obviously rocking some custom soft goods by Soft Goods Studios. This is the Mythos outfit that he has. Actually got the idea to grab this set from Robo from the Whoosh. He did a recent video where he had gotten this in from them, and you know, I just ordered it. It was affordable. It was good. I had an extra Boba Fett. He's actually missing the shoulder pad on his left side. So this kind of helps cover that up, and it kind of gives a different look and feel to the character. I don't really know too much about the origins of Mythos Boba Fett, but it looks badass, and if it looks badass, I'm gonna try to cop it. So yeah, very simple shot here. Really cool background. Jabba's palace. Got quite a few lights going on here. I've been trying to work on my lighting a little bit. You know, just a little bit more dynamic lighting, some slight posing. I'm using the Tamashii Nation's rock effects down here, and it's just a fun little shot. You know, I shot this figure probably over a year ago now, and I've been wanting to get back around to him, so I figured it'd be fun. Why not? Let's shoot some Boba Fett. Everybody loves Boba Fett. So he's got the little pants skirt accessory, he's got a little robe accessory that has a bendy wire, and it's a really nice little set that Soft Goods Studios put together here. I also took one of those stormtrooper guns that has like the weathering on it, and I just tacked it onto his backpack there. And I think it looks pretty cool, man. He's, you know, this is, like I said, I don't really know anything about Mythos Boba Fett, but it makes sense that he'd be standing in front of Jabba's palace, right? Right? I don't know. So yeah, really fun little shoot here. Just not really too much going on, but you don't really need much to make this figure look great. I think the main thing that I was trying to mess around with was trying not to get the glare on his visor right here on the black. I think it did a pretty good job of kind of arranging the lights. As you can see, this light right here is not directly focused at him. It's more at an angle, so the glare is not too prominent on his visor there, but still provides a decent amount of light for his face. Then over here we've got that big panel light that I've been using. This light runs out of battery really quickly, but it provides a lot of light, and I kind of wanted to get that like desert kind of feel with this shot, but at the same time, you know, if you really look at Tatooine in the movies, it's not really usually too sunny. It's usually it has like this overcast kind of feel to it, and I think that background kind of shows that. It's not super sunny, it's more like cloudiness almost. So I think the lighting here with the white fluorescent white balance like mixed in, kind of you find a good medium between both of them. So yeah, really fun shot. I enjoyed doing this one. I always enjoy picking up this figure and playing around with it. Definitely one of Black Series' best, man. So yeah, let's check out the shot, and I guess we'll just move on to a couple more Black Series shots I want to be getting to and playing around with. So yeah, Star Wars Black Series. It's awesome. Alright, and we're back with another Star Wars Black Series shot. This is something that's just been kicking around in my head ever since I got this C-3PO right here. I think this is the Archive Series C-3PO. The original C-3PO I had from a while back was the one where he has the red arm. I think it's the one from The Force Awakens. And I've just never really dug that. I think it's a cool design, but I've always really liked the one that's got that silver leg from the original trilogy. So we had to go back to the original trilogy since I picked up that figure, and we got a little Jabba's palace door background back here. It's just a piece of paper, nothing crazy. Just kind of fits perfectly into that frame there. Return of the Jedi is probably my favorite movie of all time. Out of all the original trilogy, I think it's my favorite. You know, people talk a lot of shit about Return of the Jedi, and you know, Return of the Jedi is such a goddamn good movie, dude. I just love it so much. I love how it ties up the story. I think it's probably got the best duel of all three of the original trilogy movies, and yeah, man, I love that movie so much. I also feel the same way about Indiana Jones. I'm actually a way bigger fan of The Last Crusade than any of the other two, even though I love all of them. And the same goes for the Star Wars. I love the original trilogy. I love all three of the movies. I think all three of them are masterpieces. Same with Indiana Jones. But I just love the ending of the story, man. I just love it so much. So a simple shot here, nothing too crazy. We got a couple lights right here. There's that big panel light I've been using lately. And we got a couple other lights right here. Trying to make it a little sunny, but not too crazy sunny. If you actually watch this scene where R2 and C-3PO are walking up to the gate, it's actually kind of overcast. I kind of mentioned that briefly when we're talking about the last shot. Tatooine's not really all that sunny, I've noticed. It's kind of overcast, but I did want to make it a little bit sunnier than usual, and that kind of helps match the background here. So, yeah, simple shot. I found this print online somewhere. This is probably a screenshot of Jabba's palace. This probably would have worked a little bit better with 3 3/4 inch figures, because then that background would seem even bigger, but I feel like the distance between R2-D2 and C-3PO from that wall actually make it seem pretty big. And I lowered my f-stop and I lowered my ISO, and my shutter speed's actually a little bit higher, but to kind of balance those out. But by doing that, it gives this really nice blur on the background. It probably isn't showing off right here, but in the actual photo, since the f-stop is so low and it's just focused on C-3PO, it gives a really nice blur. And I think that blur kind of helps make it appear it's a little bit bigger than it normally would. And since the background file is such low quality, it helps a lot with that blur as well. Because then you won't see all the inconsistencies of that background. But all in all, I think it came out really good. This is like a super random shot. I mean, the story, everybody knows the story. They're walking up to Jabba's palace trying to get Han and Chewie out, and then Luke is shortly behind them. But I was just trying to think of a scene for these two, and I don't know, my mind just immediately went to this. So, fun little shot, and let's check it out. Alright, I'm starting to film a little panel shot here, so I'm thinking 3 pictures. This is going to be the death of Yoda, one of my favorite scenes in Return of the Jedi, so I thought I'd give it a shot. There's a technique that I'm going to try using here. I've done once before, but it's been a long time since I've done it, and it's called multiple exposure. Now there's a couple different ways you can do multiple exposure. One way is you can set your exposure timed, and then you can run in and pull the figure out, and it leaves this really cool, like, ghost-like silhouette. I'm sure a lot of, if you guys are photographers, you know what I'm talking about. It's a technique that's super old. They actually probably used that technique in Return of the Jedi to film this scene. But this is just the first panel. This is just him right as he closed his eyes, and he's about to die, and then I'm going to take another shot over to Luke, just like a close-up of Luke's face. This is actually all close-ups. All 3 panels of it are going to be close-ups. So a close-up of Luke's face, and then I'm going to come back and do the multiple exposure, where what my camera can actually do is it gives me the option of taking a picture, and then it's hard to describe, but it gives you this multiple exposure setting where you take the first picture, and then you can actually take the exact same picture, pull him out, and then it'll give you that really cool ghost-like feel to the shot. So we're going to try it out. It's probably going to take a little bit of playing around with, but this is the first shot. This is the easiest of the 3, probably. That and the Luke. So I guess you will see where I'm at the next shot. Alright, I kind of wanted to show you guys this whole multiple exposure thing. Now, this is something specific to this camera. I'm sure other cameras can do it too. I don't believe phones have the ability to do it, unfortunately. But yeah, multiple exposure, sometimes called double exposure. People in the toy community call it merging. There's like a bunch of different names for it, but what I'm doing here is multiple exposure, and the main reason I'm doing multiple exposure is because I've just never really been too good at long exposure stuff. My settings are just like with the macro, it's never really worked out for me. Luckily I have this ability on this Canon 90D here to do this. So it's basically gonna take 2 shots, and in between the first shot and the second shot, I'm gonna come in and actually grab Yoda and pull him out of there violently. So I'm gonna try to show you guys. You guys are gonna want to focus on this. So for the first part, I already kind of played around with it. I've already taken my shot. I already got the shot I wanted out of it. I just wanted to show you guys. So for the first shot, in my experience, over just doing this, the darker it is on here, the better or more translucent Yoda's gonna be. So I've started off really dark. It's kind of hard to see, but we're gonna take our first shot here. We want to try to be as still as we can. All right, so it's taken the first shot. And if I kind of move my camera around, see that outline? You can now see the outline of Yoda there. It's kind of cool. You want to try to line it up best you can again. And we're going to actually go in here and just pull Yoda out. But at the same time, we want to keep him, we want to keep that same framing, because if you like overlap anything, it might show in the picture. So we kind of want to keep that same framing. For the most part, it looks exactly the same. But now what we're going to do is we're going to raise our shutter, or lower our shutter rather. We're going to make it a lot brighter. And now you can see the difference between how translucent he becomes. So, and then the tricky part is also taking the original picture to match your now multiple exposure picture. So I actually had to go back and reshoot that. So anyways, you know, it's a learning experience. This is only like the second time I've ever done it though. So it's pretty cool. So we want the second picture now to be brighter, so that the darker first picture now shows translucent. Just so everybody's on the same page. We're gonna not focus, actually it doesn't really matter where we focus now, because the Yoda's no longer in the shot. So can't really focus on something that's not there. So we want to be still for this too and line it up the best we can. It's busy. Now it's gonna put them both together. Sorry for the shaky cam too, guys. All right, so nothing there, but boom. Pretty cool little effect, right? Not bad. This is kind of just like the scene from Return of the Jedi, right? Right as he's like kind of, you know, becoming one with the Force. I think it's pretty cool. I dig it. Now, I don't know how good this shot's gonna be compared to the one I initially took, but I checked that on the computer, so hopefully that one's better than this one. I just kind of wanted to show you guys this technique. Pretty cool. Yeah, so now I need to shoot the empty bed. And then, I don't know if you guys noticed, but this is just a paper bag. You know, he's in the cave, and I don't have like any diorama that kind of fits the cave perfectly. So I figured if I have low enough settings and everything around Yoda is blurred enough, it may appear kind of like a cave. And you know, I put a little bit of wrinkles in the paper bag too. So, you know, maybe it's got a little bit more details in it. So, you know, you work with what you got, I guess. So yeah, pretty cool, right? So now we gotta shoot, so I shot the first shot, and then I shot this since I already had it set up. Now we gotta shoot a couple of Luke, close-ups on Luke in between. So then at the end, we'll panel it all together, and I think it'll come out pretty dope. Those were the two hardest shots right there. So we got those out of the way, and it's time to take the easy shots. And then I guess the next hard part will be paneling it all together. Since it's a movie scene, you know, you gotta kind of tell the story through the panels. So it'll be interesting, but hard parts out of the way. Also, while I've been shooting this, my German Shepherd's just been chilling in here, watching me and admiring my my photographic skills. I hope that he doesn't turn into a Force ghost though while I'm shooting this, because that'd be very sad. All right, we're at the end here. We got Luke out on the table. I've taken that paper bag and I've moved it further back here, as you can tell. You know, because there's a little bit of depth in that cave if you actually watch the scene where Yoda dies. I already took a shot of Luke, of him looking to his left, like right here. And that's as Yoda dies. And then this shot where he's looking down and to his right is when Yoda becomes one with the Force. So if you watch that scene, that's kind of how it ends up. I think once I panel this all together, it'll look really cool. it's always fun working with panels. I use Pages on my Mac to make the panels, believe it or not. I don't really use a photo editing software. I'm all tangible, baby. I never use photo editing software. So it's always fun playing around with the panels, and you know, it's always cool. Sometimes I'll look up comics to get references for how they panel stuff. Sometimes you panel stuff within other panels. Who knows? That's the fun part. The hard part's taking all the pictures. So this was pretty cool. I want to thank you guys for watching. Just a bunch of Star Wars Black Series shots. And yeah, it's like a couple from Return. I think the Boba Fett one's just a random Boba Fett shot, but that was on Tatooine and Jabba's palace. So a couple Jabba's palace shots, and then this shot here. And this is something I've been wanting to get to for a long time now, so it's kind of cool that we're finally scratching that one off the list, and then we can move on to other Star Wars Black Series shots. I got the new Wandering Obi-Wan Kenobi coming in tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to getting that figure. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to check out my Instagram, check out Facebook, check out Articulated Comic Book Art. Appreciate you guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, do all that other stuff that everybody always asks you to do. And I will catch you guys next time. Let's check out this panel, man.
That's crispy.